Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon, and today we're back with another Enlisted video, and today we're going to be doing 15 tips and tricks for Enlisted. For those who don't know, Enlisted is going on Steam very soon, and hopefully we are expecting a player surge. Therefore, I'm here to give new and old players some tips and tricks. Of course, I'll only be covering some of the most important tips and tricks for this video. If you guys want to see another 15 tips and tricks video, I'll potentially do it if this video gets enough likes and views. Most of these will still be valid after Enlisted goes on Steam, hopefully, and this will hopefully be helpful to the new players. Therefore, I highly suggest that you subscribe and join the Discord, turn on notifications, so you can get more videos and guides. That said, before we get started, this video once again has been made possible through the friends at Discord. If you want to get more tips and tricks, highly suggest that you get that, and let's get started. Number 1. Take cover and keep moving. When fighting in Enlisted, the best tip I can get is to keep moving. Shoot, move, shoot, move. Hard for your enemies to shoot you, and hard for your enemies to shoot you and pin you. Or, in other words, if you shoot and move, you essentially will be able to dodge enemies. As a matter of fact, a lot of players do this a lot. Essentially, those who perfect this treat Enlisted more like Call of Duty than Enlisted. That said, when advancing onto a point, secure with cover. Do not charge through an open field to get to your point, unless you want to die. If you want to take a point, try advancing on top of the point, or should I say try advancing on the point with cover via buildings, or in some cases, some people will dig trenches. But needless to say, advance while taking cover. Number 2. Understanding the map. Different maps in Enlisted have different playstyles. For example, if in the Pacific map, you are going to be dealing with a lot of bushes. In Stalingrad, you're going to be dealing kind of with urban settings, and in Berlin, you're definitely going to be dealing with urban settings, or in some cases, a train. For example, best example of this is do not call in an artillery strike on top of a building with a metal roof. That is kind of understanding the map. If you do, you waste the artillery strike. On the other hand, in some maps on Stalingrad, there might be a building, but said building might have spots in them, so you can actually call in an artillery strike and get a lot of kills. That said, you really need to know the map. Some maps allow you to plan your attacks better, and in the best cases, get some of the most interesting kills. That said, let's move on to what squads to bring. A lot of new players will be asking me, what squads do I bring? Well, every campaign is different, but some of the starter squads that you should definitely bring are 1. The Assaulter Squad. Not only do they have 4 Assaulters, which allows you to get 4 Machine Gunners, but they also have a lot of good stuff. 2. The Radio Operator Squad. You can literally call in artillery, and artillery can kill any. As long as you're not a highly armored tank, artillery can kill you, or at the very least damage you. Then you have the APC squad. This acts essentially as a mobile rally point, and most importantly, allows you to ferry troops into the battle quickly. And finally, a tank or a plane. My personal suggestion is a tank because once you get a tank kill, your other tank members also get assist, which is actually able to boost your score by a lot. And as a starting player, you really need to boost your score. Even if you're an old player and just want to get more points for, let's say, an event, then tanks is a very good idea. Moving on to the next step, we have what squad members to bring. That is completely your choice. Remember, in Enlisted, you can get kills with any automatic weapon. Any weapon, as a matter of fact, can get you kills. Anti-tank weapons or whatnot. Thus, there are some good guidelines that I highly suggest that you guys bring when dealing with your squad. For example, an Assaulter class has the ability to bring a radio operator, an engineer, a machine gunner, and an AT squad. Of course, there are some things that you can bring and some things you can't bring. My personal suggestion is that you bring engineers, you bring a radio operator, and you bring an anti-tank gunner. Now, those are really good, especially for the late game, which not only allows you to build rallies, which is one of the most important things in Enlisted, but also call an artillery strike, and of course destroy tanks, which gives you the lion's share of most kills in Enlisted, or should I say the points. That said, let's move on to tip 5. Build rally points or use mobile spawns. Build rally points is one of the most important things. If you want to advance on your enemies and take them down quick, or essentially just have a good time and not run the entire distance from point A to point B, I highly suggest that you build rally points. Why? It's really simple. All you have to do is to build points, and most importantly, because rally points allow you to attack closer, or should I say spawn closer, they're really, really good. And you also get the points from building rallies, and you get points from people using those rallies. The same thing for mobile spawns, of which I think mobile spawns are slightly getting better than rally points. The only difference is that mobile spawns can be moved, and most importantly, mobile spawns do take a lot more time for the player to enter via the mobile spawn. So that's the only downside and benefit. But that said, rallies are really, really important. Let's move on to tip number 6. When building rally points, there are things that you should really decide to do. The first way is to dig a hole and build a rally. The second way is to hide a rally within a building, and the third way is to build sandbags around the rally. Of course, please use your brains. What I mean by that is that if you decide to dig a hole and hide your rally, please try to do it with some cover around it via vegetation. If you decide to build a rally within a building, please don't make it in the entire building. Please find a place that you can hide your rally successfully. And if you decide to build sandbags around it, please don't build it in the middle of the field. Everyone knows what you are doing. As a matter of fact, some veteran players just outright don't build sandbags at all and put them in buildings or dig a hole and put the rally. Which my personal suggestion is just to dig a hole and put a rally, especially in non-urban settings. That said, tip number 7. When dealing with enemy rally points. When dealing with enemy rally points, just listen to the sound. If you hear a radio operation sound around you, then an enemy rally is nearby. When you find said enemy rally, you have a few choices. One is the most simple and plain choice, and that is to destroy it. Some people who want to get more kills put an anti-personnel mine on the rally, and boom goes the people who's coming via the rally. The most sadistic people I've ever seen literally build a barbed wires around the rally, and in my personal case, I literally just destroyed a rally because once you find a rally, you can instantly just kill everyone in the rally. Mobile spawns are a little bit different because even though you might have hit the mobile spawn with your weapon, they might still be able to spawn in. So my suggestion is to take a TNT pack, cook it, and wait for the enemy to show up and destroy it then. So that's that. At number 8, we have backpacks. Now these are the most useful and very useful stuff that Enlisted has to offer. These suggestions that I include when dealing with backpacks include the 3 types of backpacks: large ammo pouches, large grenade pouches, and large backpacks. Now, the large ammo pouch gives you a lot of ammunition for your infantry, really useful if you're using weapons such as the FG-42-2 and whatnot. The large grenade pouch gives you 3 grenade slots, of which if you are like me, I would give them the TNT and 2 grenades, should I say hand grenades. And the third spot, which is the large backpack. Personally, I don't use this a lot because it only gives you 4 medic packs, which is a lot by the way, but the issue with Enlisted is that you're most likely gonna die before you even use 2 of them. So that's that. That said, speaking of grenades, let's use grenades. Each grenade has its own aspects and its own uses. Regular grenades have a fuse that will explode after the fuse goes out. My personal suggestion is to cook the grenade for 3 seconds and then throw it, and boom, the enemy cannot throw it back, and if they do, they'll blow their hands off. TNT, which is really good for killing tanks and in some cases infantry, especially if they are close by. Use this for killing tanks, use regular grenades for killing infantry, most likely the case. Most people, veteran players, would just mostly use TNT because that's essentially able to kill tanks, which you get most kills from, and it also has the ability to kill infantry if they're nowhere to throw. Next, we have impact grenades. Enlisted has debuffed this, but overall it still has a lot of good ways to kill people. Number 1, the impact grenade won't explode once you cook it, meaning that you can just cook it as long as you can and then throw it. Impact grenades work by once it impacts the floor, it instantly explodes, killing everyone. Of course, it will even kill you because if you cook it and throw it right in front of the person right in front of you, you will die yourself. So that's something to be careful of. Unlike the regular grenade, this is quite buggy because Enlisted has debuffed this, and Enlisted also has made this grenade almost unusable by not fixing the bugs. Meaning that if you throw this at some people, it won't even kill. As a matter of fact, it will make only an explosion sound, and that's it. Finally, we have the phosphorus grenades. This is a type of grenade that gives out a poison gas, so that's very, very useful. It goes away after a few seconds, but it is able to give poison gas to a group of people, so that's really, really useful. Smoke grenades are one of the worst grenades in my opinion. They're not really useful unless you want to cover your advance, which I highly just suggest that you use buildings. And smoke grenades, if used, will essentially tell the enemy, hey, I'm here, so they'll just shoot at you. So that's that. But that said, let's move on to the battlefield again. At tip 10, we have switch squad members once you're downed. Or should I say, press Y. Once you are hit, switch squad members as fast as you can to continue fighting. What I mean by that is that if your first guy goes in and you get downed, you will essentially be down, and you have to wait for a little bit to get up. To be exact, it's around 6 to 7 seconds. Of course, if you switch to your next dude in your squad, you can just avoid this and just go in and kill everyone. That is potentially the case. Now, of course, if you are already veteran enough and you have a thing called plus 75% medic pack usage speed, which I highly suggest that you get, it allows you to get essentially right back up in 2 seconds. Of course, being the brutality that Enlisted is, you might not even have that chance. Thus, that is why I suggest that you press Y to continue to fight with another soldier. Remember, Enlisted is not about the individual soldiers, it's about the squad. As long as you have one person to fight, you can potentially down the entire enemy squad. So that's that. Coming in at number 11, we have Infantry perks. Some of the best perks in games are plus 75% medic pack usage speed, which I just stated, Vitality, which grants you more health, and minus 40% recoil reduction while standing. That said, let's move on to tank perks at number 12. Changing shells without having to stop reload is a must for tankers, and most importantly, increased reload speed is also a must. These are some of the best tank perks for tankers. At 13, we have aircraft perks, which is minus 75% damage from hard landing, and the rest is your choice, because as aircraft, you already have a lot of good perks. Almost every one of the perks that you see for aircraft are useful perks. Really just depends on how you want to use them. And finally, we have flasks and melee weapons coming in at 14 and 15. Although these are not important as primary weapons, they are very important. Flask, if you drink them, will allow you to run longer, and melee weapons allow you to run faster. So what I mean by that is that Flask, if you drink them, allows you to run and increase your stamina by a lot. So if you drink your Flask, you can run longer. Melee weapons, on the other hand, such as axes, knives, and swords, allow you to kill enemies in melee, but they're also most useful in arriving at the battlefield faster. For example, regarding swords, axes, and bayonets, you can have the ability to charge. Not only does this allow you to kill people on the charge, but also makes you run faster. Therefore, veteran players would just use charge to get to the point faster, and thus, well, once you get there faster, you can just kill people faster with both the sword or your primary weapon. Also, for bayonets particularly, it decreases the recoil, which is actually very, very good and very, very, very neat for a buff. But that said, that is 15 tips and tricks for Enlisted. What do you guys think? Should I do another 15 tips and tricks? Have a great day, guys. Hope this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.